Warning: the Dub Talk podcast contains language that might not be suitable for younger audiences. Listener discretion is advised. Also, there's always the possibility that spoilers for anime series will happen, so be very careful while listening if you're watching the episode of a series that you have not finished yet. And lastly, don't look all googly-eyed at Mavis like that. Seriously, guys, she's like 13. Have some freaking restraint, why don't you? And what's up with the wings on her head anyways? Things are weird. I mean, what's going on? Anyways, enjoy. Hello, one and all, and welcome to Dub Talk. This is the show where a group of dorks all get together and either talk about a recent dub announcement or revisit a series that has previously been reviewed on Lilac Anime Reviews that was dubbed afterwards. I am, of course, the one and only master of manliness himself, Spaceman Hardy, and once again I'm taking over hosting duties for Lilac in order to cover another one of the many broadcast dubs that Funimation is putting out for this season. Tonight's show is a bit of an interesting case, considering that it's a broadcast dub that isn't for one of Funimation's brand new shows, but rather for a series they've had the rights to for some time now. I speak, of course, about Fairy Tail Zero. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, in a cave, on Mars, with your fingers in your ears for the past few years, you've no doubt at least heard about Fairy Tail. After all, it's one of the most popular long-running shonen series currently airing today, right up there with the likes of other powerhouses such as Naruto Shippuden and One Piece.
Wait. I know this show. This is the one about the guys who are looking for the 7 balls that grant wishes, right?
No.
Almost.
Oh.
You're on the same track, yeah.
Oh, wait. Is this the one about the guy with the red hair and the sword who goes around?
No.
I was gonna say, I thought we were reviewing 7 Deadly Sins. I'm confused.
It's almost, you were the closest out of all of us, actually. Yeah. But anyways, no, not to mention, it's also one of Funimation's most popular series, so a broadcast dub seems like a rather natural progression for the show. Now, as to why Funny decided to start the broadcast dub at this particular part of the show, it's because, starting with episode 266, we're basically going into the Zero arc, which is technically a prequel to the rest of the series, and is largely an independent story from the rest of the episodes before it. So for all of you out there who are worried about skipping over most of the main previous story arcs, never fear. Other than a couple minor spoilers in the first 7 minutes or so of the first episode, the rest of the arc can be enjoyed completely free of spoilers from the very start. Yes, it's almost as if it's an entirely separate show.
And yet, despite if you are trying to find the show, you are still going to have to search Fairy Tail episode 266.
I know, that was like, I was trying to find it. I was like, wait, I thought this was a different property. Like, what's Funimation doing?
Nah.
I know, that's what I thought too at first, and I had to look it up by the title of the episode. I was like, oh, it's just buried deep in the Fairy Tail archives.
Yeah.
It is, that's the way that Funny does things, apparently.
Unless you're on an Xbox One.
Yep. And to help me cover over this brand new iteration of Fairy Tail, I've recruited 3 promising young guild members, each with their specific talents and spell bases, to set sail into unknown territories of this brand new dub and seek out the treasures hidden within. My first guest joining me tonight, you've heard him many times on this program by now, unofficially the 4th Dub Talk member and officially the host of such revered programs such as First Frames, 10 Frames Per Second, and the 10 Frame Theater. Please welcome animation aficionado and all-around good guy, Noah Clue.
Oh, wait, I got it. Oh, okay, Fairy Tail. That's the show where the kid pushes a kid out of the way of a car, gets killed, and then comes back as a ghost hunter, right?
Close enough.
That's
Whoops. I thought wrong just now.
Hello, everyone. This is Noah Clue coming into you. I'm very excited to try this one out because I understand that all of us here, for the people you will be introduced to in a minute, have widely different experiences with the Fairy Tail franchise, so we'll be covering the different swaths of varieties of people who will be watching this. And for me, I will be the guy who has seen part of the beginning of the show, but is not familiar with much beyond the first 13 episodes.
Secondly, making his second appearance on Dub Talk, a relative newcomer on the scene, you can usually find him mingling over the Double Talk Twitch chat every Wednesday night or fanboying over Sailor Jupiter on his Twitter account. Please welcome anime fan and Sailor Moon devotee, Jamal.
Jupiter's love, Jupiter's life.
You have a weird way of saying Venus.
Well, shut up.
So Jamal, what is your experience with Fairy Tail? We know that Noah has only watched up to episode 13 or so. How far have you gone with it?
Let's see. I saw the first 49 episodes, then somehow binge watched 120 of them in 2 weeks.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah. That record
Wow.
later surpassed, by the way, by Sailor Moon. And I'm on the Grand Magic Games arc, but I'll finish that as soon as I get through Zero. So.
Okay. And lastly, technically making his second appearance on Dub Talk, although this is his third episode, he did star in the lost episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure that sadly has not seen the light of day. You may have heard him in such internet shows as the Gotham High radio drama, Fairy Tail Magibridged, and FMA Brotherhood Abridged. Please welcome Lack the Watcher.
Hey, howdy, everybody.
And please tell us, how far have you gone in Fairy Tail?
Well, that's kind of an interesting thing because, like, it's kind of hard to explain. I got through like to the what was the arc? The one with the
things and the
no,
stuff?
No, the Arashi Seis. That's it. That's what I was thinking of. I got to like the Arashi Seis arc, and then like I had trouble finding like legal means to be able to watch the rest of the series. So I kind of took a break from it. But then when Series 2 got announced, when the revamp in like 2014. I was like, okay, yeah, no, I'll start it. I'll start from here and just like work my way back eventually. So
Okay. All right, so you probably have the most experience of all of us then.
yeah, I guess so. I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. As for me, I quit after the Loxus arc. I quit about episode 48, and just never really picked it up again until Zero. But now, once after this year is over, after I get through the slog that is Bleach.
Oh boy.
The
Yeah.
year of 366 Bleach episodes.
Oh joy! And
You
I
poor
just
fool.
finished. I just finished the quote unquote good part of Bleach. Everything is downhill from here.
Yeah, after this, it goes into the spin cycle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, but once I get done with Bleach, then I'm gonna go back and start Fairy Tail from the beginning and start all over again. So, anyways, we're all different we're all different degrees of fandom for the series at this point, and so we're all starting with Zero as a brand new beginning and see where it goes from here. So, as usual, we're gonna go through the cast, talk about who we initially predicted, who was actually cast, and discuss whether or not we were pleased with the individual casting choices or not. This show in particular is going to be a bit different because not only do we have a rather small initial cast to go over that was put in the press release, but because the dub is starting in the middle of an already established series, we've also got a few actors reprising their roles from earlier in the dub. So we'll go ahead and get those out of the way first before heading into the few new characters we do have, as well as making any predictions for future characters that have not yet been announced, if there are any. So without further ado, let's start, as we always do, with the ADR director. Now, the ADR director for this one is interesting because pretty much it's the same guy who's been doing it the entire time. If you don't know that already, the ADR director is Tyler Walker. He directed 24 episodes of the original season. He did line production for 72 episodes of the original season, and he is so far the strict director on Fairy Tail Season 2, or Series 2.
Yeah.
He follows me on Twitter.
we knew-
Lucky
because
you.
this was a continuing of a show that had already been going for a while, I didn't make any predictions for the director or the writer at all. So
Yeah.
this section would be
I
very
did for some
sparse.
goddamn reason. Like,
So who did you predict, Jamal? Who did you think
well,
would...
no. Here's the thing. I asked the prediction for the assistant. Like in the event, Tyler was unavailable, but
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, the interesting thing about Zero is that, for the first time, Fairy Tail has an assistant ADR director. Did anyone have a prediction for the assistant?
well,
I
I
didn't even know this guy was working behind the scenes.
had one. So
Yeah, I really, when it comes to Funimation's production staff, I'm not that savvy on like who does what. So
Okay. All right. So who
And
did
yeah,
you...
I don't think any of us could have guessed this, unless I'm wrong and you guys did guess.
Who did you guess for the assistant, Jamal? You mentioned you had someone.
Well, I had Ian Sinclair because I remember he was the ADR director for both Black Butler series, although one of them can only be talked about. And after binge watching Baccano, he was assistant ADR. One of the few assistant ADRs, as a matter of fact.
As it turns out, the actual assistant ADR is a relative newcomer to directing, but not at all a newcomer to Funimation. It's Aaron Dismuke.
Oh, no shit.
And all the
I thought I
all the
was gonna
2005 fanboys went, what?
That's right. And his only other directing credit, as of now, it's for goddamn Showman Sample.
I mean,
Hey,
So
you know what? You know what? I'm still kind of jealous. Because I'd be like, I'm the same age as him, so I'd be like, if someone
What?
said, hey,
Damn.
direct Showman Sample, I'd be like, yeah, I'll do that. So,
You wouldn't, yeah, but you wouldn't discriminate. You would be like, well, what? You need me to direct? Okay, I need to direct this really crappy Penguin Dick show that came out this season. Okay, put me on that. I want to direct anything. Just put me in the booth.
hey, I wouldn't have been able to get Matt Mercer in that dub, so, I mean,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, this is only his second directing credit, but he has worked behind the scenes on a scripting recently. He has done scripts for Fairy Tail in the past. He's also done scripts for Ninja Slayer from Animation, which is awesome.
Yep.
And he also worked on the script, believe it or not, for Tokyo Ghoul.
huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a pretty big deal right there.
Yeah, I mean, well, he was a child prodigy, so I guess it does kind of make sense. So,
So how do we feel about the direction so far in the past 3 episodes? I mean, is it, to me, it just feels like business as usual with Tyler, both in the director and the lead writing position, like he has always been. It just feels like Fairy Tail is just Fairy Tail.
yeah. I actually got into Fairy Tail through the dub, and the dub has always been pretty solid. It's got some corny jokes here and there, but the series itself has corny jokes anyway, so I can't really blame the dubbers for that. But I mean, it feels pretty strong. I'll get into my one complaint that's kind of a nitpick after everybody else is done. But
What about you other guys, guy?
Same old, same old.
No, you have any?
For what I remember from the dub, from that first bit that I saw there, they don't have a lot of a difference in the tone, which seems to be, we've got a little bit of drama underneath, but for the most part, we are ragtag, not all that serious group of magic users who are in search of treasure, and that seems to be the tone that they're hitting with these first 3 episodes as well, especially when we get to episode 3 when they're on the boat.
Yeah.
And as a side note, also the animation is pretty much the same as the rest of the show as well. So if any of you people out there were thinking about maybe they dropped the quality because all their money was going to Erase this season, no, it's very much exactly the same thing the show has been up to this point.
Which is, shoestrings and lint so far.
It's not. It's like
as profitable as a show as it's been, they've always left it on the cheaper side. But
Yeah.
that being said,
I've
I've loved the aesthetic of Series 2. I think I love the character designs. I love the more muted color tones. So.
Really,
That
because
was
I
something
hear
that threw me off. Yeah, the muted color tones on this on the episode here kind of threw me off. I was like, is that intentional, or did they just run out of Crayola markers?
Yeah, it's been very divisive on the character designs in Series 2, because I know a lot of people, because it's so different from Series 1, there are a lot of people are like, why is it so different? I'm like, well, I mean, it's actually closer to the manga than the Series 1 was.
Not
But,
to mention,
closer
I
to the manga.
always found Series 1's character designs very boring. They really had no, character to them. And I feel like Series 2 has much better, much better character, to the designs. They're more
I can't say.
distinctive.
Yeah, I can't say you're wrong. I don't know all about the Series 2 designs, but I do agree about Series 1 being a little bland because one of the characters who premieres in Fairy Tail Zero here from some angles, looks basically identical to to Lucy in the main series. Which I understand,
well.
you got a signature style, but Yeah, I was like, we could mix it up a little bit, people.
Well, I mean, the
Araki
manga
just
cut-
loves his cute girls. You can't
Yeah.
deny that.
Hey. If any of you people out there do not love your cute girls, I want you to go out into the world right now and never come back.
find an ocean and just keep walking.
Find
But
another
it-
Forrest
dumb.
Gump.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah, basically direction is just as it's always been. I'll say the dub is better than most shonen. I will say that.
Oh yeah.
Because having watched a little bit of Naruto, which I can't even enjoy as background noise, I've tried, I can't, and currently watching through Bleach, this dub is one of the better ones as far as long-running shonen is concerned.
Yeah, I mean it's one of the better long-running shonen. Period.
Exactly.
So it's like
Yeah, it's goofy when it's goofy for the most part, and reins it back in when it gets serious. which
yeah,
is
no, it does
what-
drama
what
so
it
well.
needs.
It always has. So
Yeah. Anyways, that is as far as the directing and writing is concerned, nothing much has changed. So moving on to the actors themselves.
actually,
we,
can I just say one quick thing before we move on?
Sure, absolutely.
There was some weird nitpick, and this really isn't the directing, but did the sound mixing feel weird to anyone else? Like, because it really felt like some of the actors were being drowned out by the music. Like,
I did notice
really?
that actually.
Yeah.
I noticed that in episode 3. Like the music was a lot louder than the dub was.
Yeah, and I was just like, I know this is a broadcast dub, so maybe they didn't really have time to mix it well enough. But I was thinking to myself, guys, you're usually better at that than this. Like, this, I don't know if it was the same thing for the Japanese dub, but it really does feel like maybe you guys should take a few liberties and just quiet down the music a little. So,
Now that I think about it, that would make sense for one actor in particular when we get to that point. But
Yeah. Because I noticed that especially in episode 3, like the music did sound a lot louder than the performances were. It was, now that you mention it, I realize that now.
yeah.
And so, yeah, they might want to go back and tone the music down. But, anyways, moving on to the performances themselves. This is interesting because we have 9 established characters to go over, and roughly 4 of them are reprisals because they first appeared in Fairy Tail proper.
And we're not going to do what Durarara did and replace beloved characters just because the dubbing studios got switched.
Oh no,
Wait,
we
what?
would never do that. Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm still salty about the fact that Miria and Isaac got recast in Durarara.
yes, and they were cast as people who did not sound anything like J. Michael Tatum or Caitlin Glass.
Oh, I
No,
didn't know
this
that.
I gotta
That's
watch.
actually really
What the
interesting.
fuck?
Yep.
It's later in the first series, but anyway,
Oh,
that's
the
not point.
first
We're talking
series,
about a
okay.
different. We're talking about another overhyped Japanese cartoon,
Yes.
come
Aren't
on.
they all overhyped Japanese cartoons, though?
except for Kino's Journey. That's not overhyped. That is perfectly hyped.
Yeah.
Well-
Anime was a mistake.
Anime
Except for
was-
JoJo's. JoJo's is alright.
Exactly.
We will have our bar fight later. So why do you say we talk about some of those recurring characters, shall we?
Yes.
Let's talk about the shirtless fire breather. Can we talk about him?
Yes, absolutely. Of course, starting out in the very first episode, before it goes into a flashback for the rest of the arc, we have our 2 main characters, Natsu and Happy. And Natsu and Happy, of course, are voiced, as they always have been, by Todd Haberkorn and Tia Ballard. Not really much to say because it's just we've grown up with these characters already. We know what they sound like, and it's business as usual. Did we
Yeah.
notice any differences in their performance with the Zero arc, or did we just? Is it just business as usual?
They
Business as
sounded
usual.
higher pitched. Like, it was
What?
weird. Like, I don't know if maybe it was just me because I haven't heard the dub in a long time. But
Yeah,
they sounded
maybe.
a lot higher pitched than I remember them sounding.
I remember Happy sounding slightly different, but it might be because I haven't actually watched Fairy Tail in a long time.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, Todd sounds pretty much like Todd, and maybe it was a bit higher pitched, but Happy might have been a little bit different. I've noticed, but I mean, that may just be me pulling straws.
Now, again, as you said, it being slightly a nitpick, you noticed it, but is it enough of a detriment, that slight pitching problem, to bug normal listeners, do you think?
Oh, absolutely not. Like, I mean, there are going to be people who hate dubs, period. So it doesn't really matter. But
All right. What about you, Jamal? Any other notes, or is it just? Or are we moving on?
Yeah, go ahead. I ain't got
Okay.
nothing.
All right.
I mean, the
that's
dialogue
how people
was fine. They delivered it pretty well. So you
Yeah,
know.
and they're only in the first 7 minutes of this arc anyway, so it's
Yeah.
not like they make a too big of an impact. But anyways, moving on. Strangely enough, we have our main character is a reprisal, and also another character. We have Mavis and Zareth, who are also recurring. Mavis Vermillion, who is our main character, and she is voiced by Leah Clark, and Zareth is voiced by Joel McDonald. Now, normally we save the main character for last, but because it's a reprisal, we're getting this out of the way. One thing, in case we haven't heard Leah's performance as Mavis, which I have not, so this is new to me. But
Actually, I haven't either.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. At what point do they show up in the main show?
It's a long time.
Yeah,
The
around like 150 or
the
so,
island
like,
arc when they go to like the training island arc, Tenmu Island, I think it's called.
Yeah, 10
Right.
Yep. Tenro Island.
Tenro Island, that's it. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Now, Zareth has not shown up in Fairy Tail Zero yet, so I cannot judge Joel's performance.
Yeah.
As far as Leah goes, I think she does a pretty good job as Mavis. You know, she's sort of got that wide-eyed sense of wonder about someone who's never left her hometown, and she's finally able to go out and take an adventure on her own, and she really makes Mavis adorable, possibly a bit too much to where it gets kind of annoying.
That was the thought that was going through my mind. That first episode was the being too adorable part.
Yeah.
Because like, if you haven't seen it yet, which you probably will go see this after you've listened to this podcast, it is, and I swear to God, they were channeling Les Miserables for that first episode. They literally show Mavis as small child with rags
Yeah.
being bossed around with a giant broom.
Oh, that's what you meant. Okay.
I kid you not. Like, and I understand why they did it, because we have to establish this. We have to make a shift from having Natsu as our main character to Mavis being the main character in one episode. So the creator's like, we have got to make the audience relate to this character hardcore. We are going to pull the French move on these
These
people.
tiny children with giant heads.
It was so huge, yes.
Yeah.
I thought it was chibi design, which it kind of is,
Yeah.
but
Chibi.
no, it's not.
It's more like
The weird thing
bobblehead
is
design,
that,
man.
The weird thing is that in Fairy Tail, kids have never been designed like that. So I don't know where that aesthetic was
Exactly,
coming
yeah.
from. So
Yeah,
Like I said, it's so adorable.
Yeah.
It brings to mind the Scottish father from So I Married an Axe Murderer. Huge noggin. It comes in 3 sizes. Wee, not so wee, and freaking huge.
I almost spilled my water when you said that.
I mean,
Anyway,
as far as like the voices are concerned, for the first episode when they were younger, I mean they sounded pretty much the way they were going to. I mean, it sounded like I was watching a Rugrats episode. So
Well-
I mean,
No.
Well, yeah. Leah as Mavis, I agree, pulled that off really well.
No.
And I'm glad that she did a good job as her young form, and as we'll talk later, the
13-year-old
older form.
Yeah.
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 now we'll get to Zero's performance later on when
Yeah.
we get to that. But I think Mavis did a pretty good job as both the younger performance and her 13-year-old performance. But going back, Leah Clark, obviously, you've heard her in shows like Absolute Duo. She was Arya in Arya the Scarlet Ammo. She's in Assassination Classroom.
She's the little brother from Black Blood Brothers. She is the shepherdess from Spice and Wolf.
She's Sylvie from Bakano. She is Mia from Bamboo Blade.
She's Mayu from Noragami.
She is Mayu from Noragami. She's been a bunch. She's Mayu from Darker Than Black, in fact.
I think she was.
And she was Mayu from Death Parade. If there's a character named Mayu, obviously Leah probably plays her.
She was
Yeah.
Marin in Dragon Ball Z, I think. I remember reading that. So
Like
She was
the original dub, the original Funimation
no,
dub?
I think
Yeah.
the redub or something. I don't know. Like they had to change the actress.
Yeah, she was Marin.
she was
Yeah, she's been in a lot of things she's been with Funimation a long time. She's Fuyuki Hinata from Sergeant Frog.
She's the bitch from School Rumble.
Yeah, there's a lot of bitches in Skull Rumble though. That's
I was gonna
The
say
blonde
I know-
one.
oh yeah, Aerie.
Hey, Aerie is best soon.
Thank you. I could not remember the name for. I thought it was Aerie, but
Yeah, so basically, if it's soft-spoken, wide-eyed, youthful, blonde character, you can bet Leah's going to be voicing them.
uh-oh.
So anyways,
Speaking of
that's how we
which, yeah.
speaking. Yeah, moving on. Now, has anyone heard Zareth in the dub yet? Among the four of us.
I
Yes.
heard him in the trailer.
I haven't.
All right. So which one of us has?
I have.
You have. And so I can't really comment on Joel McDonald's performance because he hasn't shown up in Fairy Tail Zero yet. As the person who has heard it, what is your thoughts on it?
Let's see. What's the best way I could describe it for you? It's like Minato and Sekirei when you first see him. yeah. But then when he,
I just remember.
Wait. Are you telling me somebody actually watched Sekiro?
Are you saying that you haven't watched Sekirei?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to put. I'm just trying
Sean-
to put terms of attitude. Like he's very soft spoken, sad beginning, and then he's more like I don't know, Tigra from Lord Marksman and Fan. This way, see what they are. Like this, like stoic, but he does have a bit of a menacing side to him. Like when you first see him, you're gonna feel bad for him a little bit, but then you learn not everything is what it seems.
Yeah. All right. And of course, Joel McDonald, we have heard him most recently in Lord Marksman and Vanadis. We've heard him. He's in Assassination Classroom, as is everybody. He was in Big Wind-Up. He's the main character in the redub of Initial D. He's in most recently Divine Gate.
He's in the show that would not be named. That's all I'm gonna say. You know.
Well, there's a lot of shows that.
No. There's and you know which one. I mean, the nickname you gave for him,
I don't know
Jam
what
Crotch.
you guys even talking
Oh yeah, he's in that show. Yeah,
about. I must have missed that.
Crotch
episode.
Wizards Academy.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Well,
The
Yeah.
show
Glad
that will
to-
not be named for as long as I live.
And so, anyways, we have Joel's performance as Zareth, his reprisal to look forward to later on in this series when Zareth makes his triumphant return. Anyways, that covers it for the reprisals. Now let's go on to the new cast. Starting.
that must have been so confusing for people who haven't seen the show.
Oh yeah. Starting off with a minor character. Don't get too attached to him because he gets offed in the first episode. But we have Zesulf.
Yes.
I did not make any predictions for Zesulf because I pretty much knew it was going to happen to him. Did anyone else have any predictions?
I had two.
Okay.
Oh come on! I can't be the only one that had predictions.
I
No,
didn't
no,
even know
I
this
did
character
too.
existed until this morning.
Yeah, I gotta credit to you, Lack, for being the guy who comes onto the Twitter chat a couple hours ago and says, "Wait, the dub's up on Funimation right now?"
That's
No.
right.
What I was like was, wait, does Funimation not have the dub up there? Because I was like, wait, they've got to have it on there. They talked about having the simulcast, and the show's out now, right?
Lack,
So-
the way you're supposed to do it is you're supposed to watch the first few episodes subtitled, then say who you would want or who you would predict will be playing the part in the dub. Then you watch the dub. That's how dub talk works.
Oh.
But this is not a normal dub talk.
It's not a normal dub talk.
Henceforth-
This is a Training Wheels dub talk. Think of it. This is
Yeah. I didn't even do that for Divine
back to
Gate, so I guess that kind of explains that. So,
Lack, we need to take you out for drinks after
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
But anyways,
No, I gotta
back to
hang out with my
Z-Self.
girlfriend
Who
tonight.
did you predict?
Yeah. All right. Who wants to go first for Z-Self? I did not make a prediction.
You want to go first, Noah?
I'll go ahead for that. I actually jumped back and forth on a couple of the names because for those who haven't watched the show yet, Z-Self he's an asshole.
Yeah.
I wrote down my notes. I was trying to make up mini descriptions for people. He's an asshole. He's a big master asshole who has a gruff uncle voice, I guess. And I guessed, based on that he would be voiced by John Swasey. Because he reminded me, the tone of the Japanese reminded me a lot of the Sensei character from Summer Wars, the grandpa who teaches to fight karate on a Nintendo pad. Which, and like Hardy said, I wouldn't get too attached to this guy because asshole characters do not live very long in shonen series. But, yeah, that was who I thought was going to voice
They
him.
don't live very long unless they're Aizen.
I think John Swayze was already Brain too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, I was under the. I wasn't even guessing about like who was already in Fairy Tail. I was
Yeah.
just saying. Like,
Yeah.
And that's why making predictions for this episode, this show in particular, is so hard because everybody is already in Fairy Tail. Like if you work
Right,
for
so-
Funimation, and it's some people who don't usually work for Funimation, everyone's already in it, and that's why.
Well,
that's why making
that's a-
predictions is so hard.
That's actually true, and actually, that's why, as you guys will see soon, a lot of these cast members are kind of newcomers who probably weren't in Fairy Tail yet,
Yeah.
but they are now.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel you there.
So,
It's partially the reason why
Who did you
Michael
get?
was cast as Sting. So, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Jamal, who did you have for Cecil?
Well, piggybacking off of Noah's description, I too went with people who haven't been in Fairy Tail, and I thought to myself, he is an asshole. Who else better than a fuck you man detective? Fuck you detective man himself, Kent Williams.
I stopped paying attention for a minute, and then I came back, and I was like, what is he talking about?
Yeah, from Death Parade.
Oh,
I-
yeah,
okay.
it's like, wow,
all
when
right.
did Fairy Tail turn into a
Heads
detective
up,
show?
I have a second prediction though.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing, but Marcus Stimmick, man, because here's the thing: an alcoholic Harrison Ford, what could get more abusive than that? I mean, come on. He's like, hey,
You
come
think I
here,
don't know how to
Mavis.
fly a plane?
Give me those shoes. You don't deserve.
Give me your
How
shoes,
do you
little
do better
girl.
than that,
I
man?
mean, well, let's remember, alcohol is not Harrison Ford's drug of choice. So,
Well, yeah, but no, like just the way he's portrayed, it sounds like it could be an alcoholic
Yeah.
Harrison Ford.
Are you done sweeping the floors? Give me your shoes, little girl.
Are you learning magic?
I hope
He stole shoes from a little girl.
I hope-
This guy's an asshole.
I hope to God Marcus doesn't hear this. Like, I do not talk like that. Seriously. But
So it's unfortunate that both of us were wrong.
Yes.
and the voice actor for Zsulf is actually someone I have never heard before. His name is Mark Fickert.
Who?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He,
Yeah, in the Wikipedia article, there is no Wikipedia article on this guy. There's a lot of Wikipedia article on a lot of these new
Go
guys,
on
actually.
ANN. That's what
Yeah.
I did.
yes. ANN is
You
your
don't have
friend.
to spell it out. You don't have to spell it out. I can spell Anne.
Anyways, he has only been in a handful of projects. He's an older guy, but this is fairly new to voice acting. This is his entire resume: is a certain a certain scientific railgun, Fairy Tail Zero, Guilty Crown, The Heroic Legend of Arslan, High School DxD New, which is season 2, Ninja Slayer, One Piece Film Z, Sankorea, Sergeant Frog, Shakugan no Shana Season 3, Tenchi Muyo War on Geminar, Toriko,
Yeah.
and Ultimate Otaku Teacher.
Oh, okay.
And honestly, Zsulf is in the show so little, we really can't judge his performance that much.
He might be
I-
the type of
yeah.
be the type of Funimation actor who just comes in every once in a while. So
Yeah.
It's odd that the Japanese gave him a lower, gruffer, very not nice kind of voice, but the way that it's portrayed in the English, he's kind of higher pitched.
I know.
Like, he's up to mid range.
I try not to I try to be as positive as possible with like dub actors, but like his voice really just didn't feel like it fit.
No,
Like-
it did not.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was weird for the character.
Yeah.
Like, I understand if they were going for that goofier tone because his character design kind of calls for a lower, older sounding voice, and that's not what the English gave to him. They gave it to him like he has a low voice for a guy who sucked some helium down.
And
Or someone
smoked
gave him a
bunch of
wedgie
Marlboros.
before the show started.
Get out of
So,
here.
yeah, so
Yeah.
it may be a good thing that he's actually not going to be in the rest of the
Yeah.
show because it didn't really fit for the character design.
I mean, you never know. They might redo that for the full release, but
Probably not. Probably
probably
not.
not.
I
No.
agree. That for something that small, it's not going to chafe enough assholes to make them change
Probably.
it.
And so, nothing against Mark Fickard, but I don't think this is probably the best role. But it's fine because Zisov is dead in the first episode, anyways.
Yeah.
He gets offed.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, off to better and greener pastures. Are we ready to move on, or
Yes.
anyone have any? Okay,
Yeah.
move.
Wait. You got to do it right. Every time that you say we're moving on, you've got to say, and then?
And then
And then
no, and then.
No, we gotta get Lack to say it every time.
Well, I'm surprised Katie's not here, but I don't know.
Yeah, Lilac, just patch in audio of Katie saying, and
Yeah,
then?
exactly.
Every time.
Right.
Anyways.
Moving on to let's see, the first of the 3 adventurers. Let's start with Warred. Now, Warred is the big, bulky man with a weird-looking face and a giant afro.
The face isn't really weird. The head is like, it looks like a, what do they call those round cylinder pegs?
His head looks like a celery stalk. No, a broccoli.
Okay, I don't know if you guys know this, but he's in the other Fairy Tail series.
Yeah, they reference at the bottom that this is a character who will go on to become the 4th most powerful
Right, no.
wizard, but I didn't know if that meant he was in
Yeah,
the
we
show or
met
not.
him. We met him right before the arc that just happened. Like, I forget the name of what they're called, but the one with like End and stuff like that, and all the it's like the big one with Gray's dad and all that stuff. So,
But he didn't have a voice actor in English just yet.
Oh, they
so
haven't gotten to that in the dub yet.
I don't think so. No.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. No. Yeah. The dub is. Here's the thing. The dub is actually for Fairy Tail proper is actually like 40 episodes behind Fairy Tail Zero. There's a gap in there that's pretty
Okay.
noticeable. So yeah, we
But
haven't heard.
Funimation was basically like, well, it's technically a new series. So.
Yeah, that's why it's such a good jumping on point.
Yeah.
You don't have to go and marathon everything before it.
Right.
Anyways, we hadn't heard Ward in English yet, meaning he was probably one of the easier ones to make predictions for. So who did we predict for Ward?
I had one and only one.
I had one, and I got mine right. Did you have anything, Noah?
I had one, and I got half the name right.
What about? Did you have anyone predicted, Lack, or did you?
I didn't have anyone predicted, but let me see if I were to make a prediction, because I actually had seen Ward before in the Japanese. So, if I were to make a prediction, I don't know. It would be cool if they could get like Michael McConaughey out to Texas for it. But,
I mean, I can understand like big time, but
they're running out of actors. So I mean, like,
That's what's so great about these broadcast dubs is that they have run out of actors, so they recruited a lot of new talent
Yeah.
too.
Some of that new talent is actually worth listening to. Needs some work.
yeah.
Yeah, again, we'll
Yeah.
get to that. But anyways, so yeah, I predicted for this voice because he's got a raspier voice, and I was thinking someone who could potentially pull off tough but cool. Of course, you got to go with the one and only Chris Sabat.
Okay.
Okay.
I was thinking like not quite garter belt levels, but
well-
still like the part that got me was he's showing him how to fire a gun.
The only issue is Chris Sabat is already voicing a character.
Yeah.
He's
Exactly.
voicing a main character.
Elfman.
He's voicing Elfman, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, if Fairy Tail Zero had been the beginning of Fairy Tail and the Fairy Tail dub, yeah, he probably would have been Warren. So,
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, here's the thing. It's never stopped Chris Sabat from doing multiple roles in a shonen show before.
yeah, but that was
anyways.
the
I mean,
90s.
Yeah, and his voice is, it's not like it used to be. I mean, he's still got the
Yeah.
glove, but it's not like it used to be. You gotta think about longevity,
Yeah.
voice. Like,
Right. I mean, because
On Ward's so far, Ward hasn't been as prevalent in the show as the other 3 mains, I guess, in the Zero arc.
he's been
so
more
I
prevalent than
figured that-
Prect.
Yeah.
I mean, because Prect hasn't shown up until 4th episode, so.
Right.
yeah, but
But
No, Precht was in
Yeah.
episode
he
2.
was, but he doesn't do
And
anything.
part of episode. He says that the orb is not there anymore.
That's literally it.
yeah.
He's exposition man.
Anyways,
But-
Jamal, who did you predict for Ward?
Not a name you hear often, but Justin Cook. Because the best thing I can remember is like
Oh, yeah.
Donut from Aquarion Evil and what's his face from Aquarion. I don't know. I just figured to myself his voice could definitely work for Ward. I forgot why, but yeah.
See, I actually did my research for Ward. I researched actors who specifically had not played major roles
Same.
in the dub of Fairy Tail.
Same here. And when we get to Yuri, you'll see why.
Yeah, and that's why I chose Chris George, and it turns out that was correct.
I was so close. Actually, no, because the Chris's are spelled
Yeah.
differently.
Chris George is mainly a guy who's behind the booth. He does a lot of ADR engineering. Most recently, he started directing. He was assistant ADR director for Absolute Duo, and most recently, he actually fully directed the dub for Snow White with the Red Hair. And if you can recall that episode, we had nothing but good things to say about that dub.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, which was a great dub. As far as performances, he's been in Appleseed 13. He was Joseph in Dime a Dollar, meaning he was the one penguin with the giant front tail.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
god.
He was the Mandingo of penguins. He was Penguindo.
The penguin's like, somebody find me a white
I'll
woman
have to
now.
watch that rest of that show.
Pendingo. Hey, where the white women
Where
at?
the white women at?
Hey, boys.
Yeah, he has been mainly small roles, some named roles. He was Ugo in Jormungand, the big guy who drove. He was Fikor. What kind of a name is Fikor? In Shakugan no Shana. He's mainly been in the background, but he has this big, deep, husky voice, and that's why I picked him for Ward, because for one thing, he hadn't been in Fairy Tail or a major character in Fairy Tail before. And also his voice was big and deep, and I think it would have been a great choice for Ward. So that's why I picked him. And I think for the most part, when we hear Ward speak, I think he does a really good job.
Yeah, no, I actually really
I mean,
liked his voice. Like, I think it fits the character really well. So,
The idea is that among the three adventurers, they need to contrast each other's voices. And yeah, to have Warhead have the voice that Chris gives him pulls it off well. He's not really called on to do much more than be the tough guy so far, but if it fits the bill, we are not going to complain.
Yes, right.
I mean, again, I don't know what I haven't watched past episode 3 of the simulcast for Fairy Tail Zero, so I don't know. Maybe he turns into a gremlin vampire seeker succubus. I don't know. But for now, he's doing a good
not
job.
that. He doesn't turn into that.
Yeah,
So-
we haven't even seen. Now, we need to mention, we haven't seen any of the characters perform any magic at all. Which, going 3 episodes into Fairy Tail, that's saying something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually
Hey,
a really
now-
interesting.
Wait.
aspect of the series.
Well, somewhat sort of magic.
Well,
episode
yeah, the first
2.
episode, but
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know what their spell bases are. We don't know what their individual elements are going to be.
I was referring to episode 2 with the Judgment Circle.
Yeah, that's what I was talking
Yeah.
about.
Oh,
Judging by the intro,
No, but-
apparently Ward's magic is tree-based, like plant life-based.
Yeah, no, he becomes a tree.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's like Romeo x Juliet all over again.
It's a little different. It's a little different. It's a little different.
God damn that ending! The rest of the show is
But
fine.
yeah, no, I guess-
I have not seen
I
that
guess-
show, and I don't mind you spoiling it for me. So
I guess Yuri was using
You
polar
can stop
magic.
at episode 23.
So yeah, I guess it does.
Jamal,
no.
it's Romeo and Juliet. You can kind of guess how it's gonna end.
yeah, I'm just wondering where the tree came in though. Like,
Yeah.
You'll
Yeah.
find out. But no, there is magic in episode 2, and that is the magic of not being able to blink.
Yeah.
That takes some goddamn magic.
Well, yeah.
She
But
had
anyways,
the power of kawaii anime girl eyes at her disposal.
that's why
Right.
Rio voices her. She's kawaii. Well,
Yeah.
Yep. And I actually watched that episode a second time. I watched it first subtitled and then watched it in the dub. She does blink, so she's a goddamn liar.
Oh no.
I paid attention this time, and yeah, at the very beginning she blinks a few times. I guess it was just a slip up in the animation, but
No. She said that she did not blink until they started the round. That practice round at the beginning doesn't count.
Oh, okay. All right. If you say so. Anyways, Jamal, what did you think of Warrior's Voice?
It's pretty decent. I have not heard them enough to make a complete judgment yet.
Okay.
It's not even technically a spoiler to say he becomes a tree, because because that's how we see him in regular Fairy Tail. He's become like a living tree. So
You forget
Yeah.
some of us
Yeah, we're-
haven't watched up to regular Fairy Tale as far as you have.
I know, but you're watching Fairy
Well, the
Tail
thing-
Zero. So I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah,
zero.
I'll go back on this.
0, as in it starts before 1.
But no one, except for us weirdos, no one is going to be watching, that's going to be starting from this arc unless they've been following it from the beginning up to this
Possibly, yeah.
yeah.
point.
I
can't imagine why you
honestly,
would.
actually, Fairy Tail Zero is not a bad place to start if you want to get into the series. But you know,
It's a confusing place
Yeah.
to start. But yeah. It kind of makes assumptions that you already know things like what a guild is, that this is a world of magic, and what time period we're in.
Anyways, so
And then?
general consensus is Chris George's Ward does a really good job. Fits
Mm-hmm.
the character well.
he has the right amount of stoic for a guy who has the power of plants.
No. Well, moving on. And then we have Precht Gaybolg.
Wait, what's the name?
Say that again.
I don't.
Yeah, what
I
kind
don't
of name
think I
is
said that right. Is it Gabolg? I don't know what it is.
No, you said it right the
Gaybolg.
first time. Precht Gaybolg.
Gable.
Oh my!
Gaybolg.
I really hope Lilacs put in
Could you
jokes in
be-
this episode, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
put in a big, a George Takei Sulu picture. Oh my!
Wait, I've got a GIF. Like, I'll send this to you. I've got a GIF of that George K. Oh my, but they animated it to a cartoon lion.
Wow.
It's beautiful. I gotta show it
Anyways,
to you later.
Precht Gaybolg, spoilers, turns into a bad guy in the series proper, but
When?
you'll see. Here's the
It's
interesting
actually
thing.
really early in the series, but
Yeah, interesting thing about Precht is that he too already has an established voice actor in the first series, which is why I predicted who they would go with. Before we get into that, who else had predictions for Precht?
One.
I had a prediction, not knowing that he was already in the main
Same.
series.
What about you, Lack? Did you have anyone?
I actually can't even remember what his actual voice actor is. That's what's so funny. Yeah, no, I didn't have any predictions. So.
And like you said, he doesn't do a whole lot in these first 3
Yeah.
episodes, so it's not like he was probably the least important person for us to
Right.
think about. But we're still going to talk about
All
it
right.
anyway.
Noah, who did you predict?
I was going through again. I had Summer Wars on the brain for some reason because that's a show by Funimation that I think has the highest count of old people characters in it. So I was like, which of the old relative characters could voice this? Not really lower voice, but just kind of older sounding character. And I thought of Barry Yandel, who in that movie he was the doctor relative who was smoking all the time. And I don't know what he's done besides that, but it was the timbre and the obviously older sounding pitch that I thought, he'll do.
Okay. What about you, Jamal? Who did you have?
I had Jason Liebrecht because I was going off of Princess Stride and Noragami. I figured, he does he can do that gruff enough voice where, Precht is usually silent but mysterious. So I figured it could work easy.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's so much mysterious as just he's not doing anything.
Well, yeah, hey, expect the unexpected, man. Like, you kind of spoiled for me.
Yeah.
Well, there's a difference between being quiet and mysterious, basically any character that Jen is playing, and then there's just not doing anything, which is basically what Precht is doing so far.
He's just chilling, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, how did I get in this show?
And who
Let's
better
hang
to
out
chill
for a
than
bit.
Jason, you know?
Yeah. Right. Well, what got my prediction is this character turns into another character later and becomes older, and that character is voiced by John Swasey.
Oh shit!
That's right.
Oh my god!
Yeah, and so I figured John.
Wait,
Swasey,
then who was Brain?
I don't know.
I'll have to double check that.
I forgot
So-
his name, but I know which one you're talking about now.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so that's where my prediction came from. I thought John could do both the older version and come back and voice the younger version as well. Unfortunately, they did not do that. The new voice actor for Precht Gaybolg is David Trosko. Trosko, you have more than likely heard him recently in Seraph at the End, Vampire Reign. He is also in Dime a Dollar. He's been in a lot of stuff, but he has only just recently started doing more main character roles. He's been on a lot of background roles. He was other shows that he's been in. He goes back to the Burst Angel days. He's been around with Funimation for a long time.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'll always remember Burst Angel by the volume I got in the blind box that said, "Great show at a great
Yeah.
price."
I remember Burst Angel by how annoying Maria sounded. Oh my god.
Yeah, but he was in Burst Angel. He was in Dragonar Academy recently. He was in Galaxy Railways. Wow, that goes back. Guilty Crown.
School
he was-
Rumble.
Yeah, School Rumble. Legend of Legendary Heroes. Sankareya. And it goes all the way back to Suzuka. And so,
Who was he in School
Ibadori.
Rumble?
Yeah.
That guy? Wow, that's a really different
Yeah.
character.
so Trosko goes back a ways. He's been around for a long time. So how do we feel from the little we've heard of him as Precht? How do we feel about his performance?
Again, I'll hold off until I hear more. So.
Yeah.
Like I said before, the point of having the three characters sound different is the key thing. Of the three adventures, the key thing. And he doesn't sound like Warad, and he doesn't sound like Yuri, so meh, he's fine.
Locke,
Yeah,
what do
no,
you
I mean
think?
Is what I
he
got.
sounds good. He sounds the right like age tone for the character. So that's pretty much I think what he should sound like. So
Yeah. My
Maybe we
my
should-
opinion is that I don't think we can make much of a judgment from what we've heard of him as Precht. However, if his performance is anything like it was as Gurren, then I'm all for it, because I went into Seraph of the End. The first season I hated. Second season got me hooked. And if he's as good as Gurren, as Precht as he is as Gurren in that show, then sign me up, because he is horribly underrated.
Wait. I'm sorry. You are you telling me that after a certain point you actually started to like Seraph of the Ender?
Yes.
Uppy the Ender.
of the Ender, Seraph of the
the-
Bender.
The vampire,
The gay vampire show, yeah.
the gay vampire show that Megan's always.
Yeah.
That's.
No,
Who are you and what have you done with
season
my
2,
heart?
man.
My Hardy.
No.
Season. Why did you stick
It
around
was on
that
Double
long?
Talk. I have to watch it. No.
See, okay, Funimation, this is what's wrong with your customers. They feel like they have to watch something. You have
I
robbed
would-
them of their individuality, and that is just
I-
un-American. Give me
I
back my
thought
Hardy.
season 1 was garbage straight up. Season 2, I was hooked from the first episode. And by the end of season 2, I said something I never ever thought I would ever say. I want a season 3 of Seraph the End.
I'm gonna start playing taps now.
No.
Hardy
No.
only.
Have you watched it? It has a sniper rifle that fires fucking tigers.
Hey, you forgot Quobo, man.
A crowbow and sniper rifle, dude. You cannot deny the awesomeness of the crowbow and the sniper rifle.
Okay, well, I'm okay. Tell you what, why don't we get back to a show that's actually good?
Okay. So yeah, going back on topic, jury's still out on Dave Trosko as Precht, because Precht really hasn't talked very much yet. But I mean, if it's anything like what we've heard from him before, it'll be fine. So I have nothing but good hopes for it. Moving on, anyone else have anything to say? No? Okay.
No.
And then we're going to our The third adventurer, probably the main character among the three of them, Yuri Dreyer,
Yes.
or whatever, however his name is pronounced.
Dreyer.
Dreyer.
Just
Yeah,
your-
he is
just
the
your-
ancestor of
some.
Makarov and Loxus, and
His father,
I
actually.
think so.
isn't he?
I think it is. Is it Makarov's father, Lack?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it said
Yeah.
in the description at the beginning. Because when the characters show up at the end of episode 1, there's a little cliff note at the bottom that explains their relation to the current Fairy
Yeah.
Tail season.
And Yuri is Makarov's father when he was a teenager, and we get to see him now when he's just a young buck, kind of a smart ass, and yeah, and so interestingly with me, I'll get back to my prediction later, but I actually got this one right, but it was my secondary prediction. Did anyone else have any predictions?
I have 5, but I'll pretty much go last because I got an interesting story for this actually.
Okay, you go last. What about you, Noah?
I stuck to 1 on this one, and it's weird. The Japanese voice, and this is probably an indication I've been watching a lot of Japanese shows recently, is that the way he speaks in the Japanese, it sounded so similar. Like, it sounded like, forgive me, I'm missing names, but like the painter in Barakamon, he sounds like basically a lot of the same characters who are like in their early 20s, get really shrill, have the same character, body, voice, whatever to them. So when I try to guess who could possibly voice that in English, it all came back to everyone's favorite man, Jerry Jewell.
I see.
Yes, and that would have been. I would have loved to
Yeah.
have seen that. Just to match the timbre of the Japanese, not match the timbre, but just match the speech dialect and the character design. Jerry's
I think
my
Jerry
redhead.
again is already in the show as
Yeah,
another
He's
character.
Leon
He's
Thastia.
Leon. He's Leon. Yeah, Leon.
Right, yeah, and that's another issue. Again, everybody's already in Fairy Tail, so making predictions about this show is really, really hard. Black,
Yeah.
did you have any predictions at all, or who you would have as a prediction?
It would have been kind of cool if they'd had Patrick Seitz voice him, just because Patrick
Oh,
is.
And that's what I was.
Loxus.
Exactly, that is where my prediction came in. That's my primary prediction.
Really?
My
Really?
yeah.
That
Yeah, my
interests
my
me.
secondary prediction I actually got right, but yeah, that was my primary prediction, was that because the Japanese actor voices both Loxus and Yuri.
Oh,
in
that's cool. I
Japanese-
didn't even know that when I said that. So.
Yeah, that's what I noticed, is that the same actor voices both of them. And that's why initially I predicted Patrick Seitz, but then I thought, Yuri's a bit younger, a lot younger than Loxus is. He's not as bulky, he's not as big. And so I'll have a secondary prediction, and that's why I said my secondary, and I actually turned out to be right. Jamal, you had 5 of them, so tell me your story.
Well, I'll save the story for after you reveal, but I have 5 predictions, 1 default and 1 you're not gonna see coming.
Okay.
Alright, here we go. Seth Magill,
Okay.
Dallas Reed, Justin Briner. Now, the 1 default,
Yeah.
Vic Mignogna.
Really?
Vic
Yeah.
has yet to be in Fairy Tail.
Yeah,
yet.
actually,
I know,
What?
right?
honestly, I'm kind of with you, Jamal. I had my pen in hand and I was about to write Vic on my paper, and I thought, no, it can't be that obvious
Yeah.
twice, because of the fact that he was also in Show by Rock for the
Yeah.
obvious character. So I did not go with there. But you know what? I would be unsurprised if he
it
was
might as well
Yuri.
have been Vic, considering the voice they actually gave him.
Thank
So-
you.
Not to mention the character design is almost a dead ringer for Edward
Yeah.
from FNF.
Oh, I didn't
right
think
down to
of
the red
that.
But
jacket.
it's really funny. As far as I know, I could be wrong, but as far as I know, Vic has yet to be in Fairy Tail.
I
Like, it's
checked. He
really
is yet to
weird.
be a fairy tale.
Yeah,
And the one you're not
That
gonna
is
see coming
strange.
hard.
I would expect him to at least pop up
especially a
somewhere.
Todd Habercorn starring
Yeah.
role.
He'll show
no.
up eventually, I'm sure. Like he'll be the big baddie when
Maybe
they
Tyler
finally end the
Walker
show.
just really does not like Vic Mignogna.
I don't know. Anyways, Jamal, who is the one who is your out of the park, out off the wall prediction?
Chad James.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel bad, but who the hell is that?
Yeah.
He
Who?
Uh,
Guess who?
he is Boomstick from Death Battle.
Oh,
because
Yeah,
okay, yeah, no, that makes
Chad
sense.
from Screw
Okay.
Attack. Yeah.
because here's the thing. Like
oh, okay. Now I remember.
yes, Because there's
Yeah,
this thing
no,
like
I get it. Like they're taking people from Rooster Teeth and stuff like that. Okay, I get what he's going
Yeah.
for.
Because they're literally
Because-
running out of
because-
voice actors.
because Yuri has a bit of a brash but adventurous personality, and pretty much all of them have, except for Seth. I don't know about him, but
Well, yeah, that's an interesting. We are probably going to see more of Chad in the future, even though it's just Vampire 15A. You will live forever on in our hearts. Yeah,
like I said, I got a story for this after the reveal. So
okay.
I mean, yeah, but
Who-
if Michael Jones can be Sting, then yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, who actually is voicing Yuri Dreyer, and who was my second choice is Clifford Chapin.
Yeah, it
Clifford
makes sense.
yeah,
Clifford's been in a lot recently. Obviously, he's in Assassination Classroom, just as everybody is. He's in the new Black Butler Book of Murder OVA. He's in Certain Magical Index, Defrag. He was crazy voiced kid in Gangsta, who I honestly do not know how he produced that voice.
Yeah.
He was the douchebag, one of the douchebags in Lord Marksman and Vanadis.
yeah.
He's in Prince of Stride recently. He's Shingo in Prison School.
He's fuck you Fuji Senpai in Noragami.
He is, and probably one of the more famous roles, the one that always makes Megan cry. He's Hideyoshi in Tokyo Ghoul, and yeah, Clifford has been in a lot of roles recently. Still pretty new, but I mean, he's getting his feet wet.
I don't.
How do we feel about his performance as Yuri?
Well, this kind of goes back to the sound mixer. I mean, he's alright, but at times he can be a bit too brash. But I think that might be the sound mixer, as Lack pointed out.
I don't know if it's.
Yeah, no, it's as far as I'm concerned. Like, at first it was kind of a hard pill to swallow because I don't know his voice can be very abrasive at first, but then like he kind of calmed down and it was like, okay, this is fine, this works.
Well, that's Clifford
you know.
for you.
See, I don't
Yeah.
think I don't think it was the sound mixing portion of it. If it was, then I wouldn't have a problem with his delivery. The problem is that, and again, I have to compare it to the Japanese, but I know we have different archetypes here in English. But the way that Clifford pulls them off, he's kind of a douchebag, and not in a fun way. Like he comes off as. I'm sorry, I'm not black enough to say this, but he comes off with way more swagger than he can actually back up.
Yeah, right.
Are you saying is he a swagger jacker?
I will fly over to Memphis and I will. Anyways,
Swagger jacker!
okay,
so
but yeah, the main testament to the character of Yuri, for us anyways, is the game that he plays in episode 2 in the library, where it kind of plays out like a Death Note chapter, where the two of them are in a battle of wits over who is going to win this game, about who tells the truth about the other person. And it's just dialogue going back and forth. There's very little action going on. And to do that, you need a character whose delivery is both confident, but just a little bit cocky. You got the cocky part, but not really in a likable way.
Yeah, speaking of which, it's funny because I thought about putting Cliff in this role, but I didn't because, and again, this goes back to all my predictions because I tried to go for like who wasn't in Fairy Tail. I remember hearing Cliff, and I know some of you haven't seen the few later arcs yet. He was one of the soldiers in the Grand Magic Games arc, and I hear him talking alongside Johnny Young Bosch. And the surprising part I found out, and I should have realized this, he voices a named character named Bando in Eiji. Eiji is the guy riding Banjo, a dolphin. This guy is mounting a dolphin. Talk about bestiality, for God's sakes.
There's some dolphin riding in Fairy Tail.
Yeah,
as
that's
well.
why I laughed. That's why I laughed when you mentioned dolphins in the chat. Well, that and another reason.
Yes. Everything's better when the dolphin sucks it. But
Yo, man, Mavis was stroking that dolphin's fin. I was like, yeah, that's kind of sexual.
she's 13, dude. She's 13.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You know who else is 13? Yoko from Gurren Lagann.
Shut up.
He's 14, and that's only the first half.
You leave my mouse pad out of this, man.
Yeah,
my
man.
wrist has never been more comfortable between those pillows.
Yeah.
But
wait.
anyways, no, I find it interesting that you guys would say that, because I think in going back to how the Japanese used the same seiyuu to voice both Laxus and Yuri, I think Clifford is kind of trying to do his own sort of semi Patrick Seitz voice. And if
And
you
it's night
listen
and
to
day.
if you listen to Yuri's delivery and you listen to Patrick's delivery, Laxus's delivery, it's a different tone of voice, but the delivery is very similar. They both have that very cocky, kind of a douchebaggy attitude among them, and that's why I think I do think Clifford isn't really capable of sounding like Patrick, because he doesn't have the voice of hot buttered sex, but
You
He
know
does
what?
not have the voice of Dio.
the voice of Dio.
Hey, not everyone can be
Patrick was
Sextus
born to play
Maximus, man.
Dio.
You know.
just saying.
Yes, you thought it was a wizard, but it was I, Dio.
Yeah.
You guys really
But,
make me want to watch JoJo's every episode. I swear. to
You need to. You really do. But yeah, that's the impression I got of it. He was sort of like a Patrick Light, and
That's
So-
the best way you
yeah.
can describe it, honestly.
Patrick Light. Really?
yeah,
No.
yeah,
Yeah, everyone's least favorite beer.
yeah. But, like you said, he
Besides
is.
Budweiser.
Oh yeah, or Blue Moon, because that stuff is. Ugh.
Blue Moon.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, I think it has promise. We just have to listen to Yuri in more of his emotional points,
Yeah,
where
where
he's not as much of a douchebag.
He is going to have to
Yeah.
become a lot less punchable.
Especially considering, Mavis and Zira's condition, which we'll learn more about later. Not really spoiling much, although it's pretty obvious if you pay attention in the first episode. But anyways, moving on to Zira, because we've already covered Mavis. Zira is Mavis's best friend.
Adopted sister kind of character.
Adopted sister, kind of, sort of.
Like I said, if this is
And-
the Les Miserables comparison, it could not get any closer by having, oh, by the way, we have a partial sister who treats you like crap when you were young archetype.
Right. And but now they're closest friends, but there's a deep, dark secret. Dun, dun, dun. But anyways, without spoiling too terribly much, who did we have predictions for Zira?
I had 3.
Okay. What about you, Noah?
I had one. That was
I had 2 actually, and mine were completely off the wall.
No.
Because I just
Now, before we go into this, can I just ask, did anyone get this right?
no.
No.
Okay, good. I was going to feel lonely there. And like we said here, these are all voices for these new characters who, most of them haven't done a lot in front of the microphone.
Right. Yeah, and brand new actors. Anyways, Lack, did you have anybody? Who would you count? Who would you predict if in a normal situation?
Has Felicia Angeli played?
Yes.
on show.
Yes.
Yes, she has.
Okay. Well, no. It's like the problem is that there's so many Funimation people who've already done Fairy Tail that at this point, yeah, like all you could say is probably a no name. So
Well, here's where my predictions actually came in. I figured if they're going to be, because the plan is after the Zero arc finishes, they're going to start dubbing Fairy Tail proper,
Okay.
like as an actual broadcast dub for real. They're just going to keep it going.
Huh.
And there are a lot of actors, namely the 2 main roles, who do not live in Texas. And so I figured they were going to have to do some recording in LA as well. And
Huh. So maybe some California actors will get in on Fairy Tail. is what
maybe,
Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe.
Well,
Because
one
some
already
California-
has, so at
Yeah,
least.
well, a couple actually have. Patrick
And
Seitz,
especially
and
with like
Cherry
the
And
Yuki
Lauren
Nagato
Landa.
dub,
Yeah.
which Yuki Nagato dub only used California actors because Funimation actually tried to have the original cast.
Yeah, but
Yeah, and that
they're not
that was a
gonna
union dub.
Yes.
That was union.
Ah.
They're not going to hold union actors for one of their long-running shonen series like this.
Well, that's
But
true.
But yeah, no, I figured that they were going to be doing some recording at LA. Actually, my first prediction was a Dallas actress. One actress who has not yet had a major role in Fairy Tale. Actually, you know what? Come back to me, because mine are completely off the wall. Noah, who did you have?
Okay. All right. I don't know all the people who are in Fairy Tale, I guess, because, good God, is there anyone left? But
Yeah.
Okay, so I predicted, based on someone who I thought could pull off kind of bratty but still likable as both a young girl and then as a teenager, Monica Rial.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's your first mistake.
Yeah, she's been in Fairy Tale
Yeah.
since the beginning.
She's Mira Jane
She's
in Fairy
kind
Tale.
of in charge of like the script. So
I don't. Okay, fine. So all you otaku people out there, you may take away my otaku card because I don't know all of the voice actresses for one of the longer running shonen series.
Don't worry, Noah. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
That is like help me, Jamal. Help me, man.
she plays best girl, dude. She plays Mira Jane.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was in the first 13 episodes that you watched.
I don't. I'm sorry, I don't remember. I watched it
I'm
at a point where I wasn't
It's
following
Monica
voice
Rial. How
actresses.
could you not remember?
Because I wasn't following voice actors or actresses back then. When I first watched Sergeant Frog back in 2010, I thought he was voiced by Vic Mignogna.
Nah.
Actually, that's fair. Because for a minute, because I wasn't really following voice actors back then too, and I thought I thought Natsu was played by Vic because I really didn't know voice actors
okay.
that much.
There we go.
Yeah.
Fine. So I'm taking
Yeah.
my Yotaku card back.
Okay. Anyways, Jamal, who did you predict?
Piggybacking off of Noah's description, I too thought who could play the bright type of characters, so what do you mean you'll be right back? I picked Sarah Wiedenheft as my first prediction.
Okay, yeah, a new actress who really hasn't been in much. I don't know if she's been in Fairy Tale yet or
No,
not.
she hasn't.
She has not.
I checked, she has not. The next one, because I pretty much did not want to get caught with my pants down. I went with Morgan Berry,
Okay.
and the last one was Megan Shipman because of another episode to be named later.
Yeah. I kind of went off the wall with mine. My first one was a Dallas actress, and mainly because I haven't heard her voice a character like Zira before. I actually went with... Oh, now I forgot her name.
Alexis.
No, it's not Alexis Tibbet. Voice of Vishamon.
Elizabeth Maxwell.
Elizabeth Maxwell. Yes.
I hate to break your heart, but she already played the character in Fairy Tale proper. She's Flare Corona in the Grand Magic Games arc.
Yeah. And so I figured she was probably already in there somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's when I decided, if they're going to be recording from LA, why don't just go balls out? I actually, for my second prediction, I predicted Erica Mendez as Zira.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because I wouldn't be surprised if Christina V ends up in the dub at some point.
It wouldn't surprise me at all. But
Yeah.
I've been listening to Erica Mendez and all the roles that she's been playing.
Yeah.
Every single one of them is different. She's freaking Nico. How does that work? How
I didn't
does
even
that
know it was
compare-
Voice
getting a
actor
dub.
Black Magic.
yeah. But anyways, we were all wrong. It turns out the actual actress is a newcomer named Jeannie Tirado. And I'm pronouncing that right because I asked her how to pronounce her name. It is Tirado. And this is her entire resume, okay? Background roles in Attack on Titan Junior High, Dance with Devils, and Noragami Aragoto. She was Lamorak in Divine Gate, Zira in Fairy Tale Zero, Yume in Grimgar of Fantasy and Ash, and Hakua Shiodome in Showman Sample. That's it.
Yeah, so
She
she's only
is
been working for
brand
like
new.
the past year. Yeah.
Yeah.
And boy, does it show it.
No.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Oh, such much hatred are you?
All right. Well, okay. I was saving most of my discussion for this because, in all of acting, the worst thing you can do when you're voice acting is make it sound like you're reading off of the paper. And that is unfortunately the impression that I got from her portrayal in both the young and the teenage version of her.
Okay, now I have my issues with the child version of her because
Yeah.
she does this why are you doing this?
Yeah,
she does too much baby talk, and
Yes.
you didn't need any baby talk.
Now, to be fair, that's part of the scripter, maybe more than her actual performance.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because they did. I mean, you can't blame it all on the actress, but yes, whoever made that choice, that needed to go out of the window.
I think that as Zira, she hasn't proven herself yet. I think she's good as Yume in Grimgar. But you're right, she is still very new. She is, she does not have a lot of mileage under her just yet.
Which never has to be a defier for being good at what you're doing. I mean, look at Steve Bloom. He had no voice acting work beforehand, and then he went on to be freaking awesome. But I think we can all agree that when it comes to what we need for Zira, and by the way, can I just say it's confusing to have a show called Fairy Tail Zero and have one of the characters be named Zira?
I think that's intentional.
You want to make it worse? There's already a character in Fairy Tail called Zero. So.
And okay. So her portrayal in the show is that she at first starts out as being the spoiled character who kind of softens up a bit more and like is more of a, I'm not gonna say an emo character, but more of a shut-in character because of what happened to her father. Mm-hmm. The portrayal that I got off of her in the English from Genie is it Gina or Genie? Genie, okay. Is that she's emoting properly, but the delivery comes off as not the kind of person who's been through that kind of hardship before. Like,
do you think it's too slight, would you say? Like it doesn't have enough power behind it?
You mean like volume, like projection?
Yeah.
I don't even think. No, because it doesn't require her to scream it out, but it does require her to sound like she is believable. Like, I know it's such a cliche to say, but it doesn't sound believable as a 13-year-old who lost her father and all these years has been coping with that loss.
There might be a reason for that. Again, I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, Zira has some secrets. Let's just leave it at that. What did you think about the performance, Jamal?
I thought it was decent. I mean, it did have bit tones of Laura Bailey and stuff, so that's pretty much like what I was thinking of. Especially when you hear the Japanese. And I can see though it's point. This is like sound like she's dealing with something, but I mean, they've been on the freaking island 7 long years. I thought it was decent, but like I said, I'll wait till I hear more. Cause it could...
Okay.
Yeah, I think we can all agree that we are exceptionally hard to please, especially when it comes to Funimation. So having a performer that is obviously trying, but is not reaching up to the levels of believability is just kind of hard for us to not say anything about.
Right. Again, Genie is still very, very new. Lack, what did you think about the performance?
I mean, I thought it was fine. I didn't really see a problem with it, honestly. I guess her kid voice was a little too much to was a little too hard, trying way too hard to sound like a little girl. But I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, yeah, I don't know. I mean, if she's just starting out, it's no big deal.
It's funny, the little kid voices, it's not only childish, but it's also really snotty because they changed it in the English from her addressing Mavis as Mavis to the orphan.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure I didn't miss that in the Japanese, but at least in the Japanese that she addressed Mavis by her name, not so much in the English.
Anyways, general consensus of the dub of Fairy Tail Zero. After only 3 episodes, what do we all think?
It's decent. Yeah, could use a bit of polishing, but yeah, it's decent.
Okay. Would we all say that it's just like business as usual for Fairy Tail?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, compared to more serious shows, I'm using air quotes here, it's not reaching up to there, but I don't think it is trying to, and it really doesn't have to be either. It's supposed to be fun, goofy, popcorn munching material, and it pulls that off.
Yeah. And this one's a little lighter than normal Fairy Tail, so I guess
it's less frantic.
Yeah, having less intense performances is okay.
And like we said, the core of the performances so far is that big game that happens in episode 2 between Mavis and Yuri. And it was engaging enough in the English that I can recommend, if you're stuck on the fence about which one to go with, you can watch the English just fine. I may recommend the Japanese a bit more over the English, though.
You see, as someone has watched the first 48 episodes, going back to Japanese Fairy Tail was really shocking for me. Like, I could not... I tried watching the Japanese. I'm like, it's too weird. I've got to watch it.
Yeah, because when I started doing these predictions, I watched the sub, and Mavis sounded kind of stilted. Like, even when she addresses Sarah, I was like, Sarah? I was like, the fuck?
In Japanese?
In Japanese. It sounded a bit stilted.
I don't know if I can agree with that. It's an archetype. Like, we've heard this voice before in Japanese. It's,
maybe you have.
I wish I had a word. Well, I wish I had a word to describe it. It's it's very kawaii, and yet very
Moe?
No, it's not even Moe, because Moe is usually a passive character. This is Tenma Skamato from School Rumble levels of proactive.
Oh, wow.
Which is a good thing. That is totally a good thing.
I know.
Tenma for the win.
Yeah.
So anyways, that about wraps us up here. If you would like to watch the broadcast dub of Fairy Tail Zero, or if you want to catch up to any of the 214 plus movie of the original 2 Fairy Tail series, then you definitely can. You can watch those at Funimation.com. You have to have an all-access pass subscription to watch it in English. You can watch the Japanese for free with ads. Right now, Funimation is offering not a 14-day, but a 30-day free trial to help promote their brand new Funimation Now program that's going on.
That's coming to mobile too soon, isn't it?
That's coming to mobile. It was going to happen in February. They pushed it back to March to get everything perfect. But yeah, they're currently offering a 30-day free trial. Be warned that you do have to put your credit card information in to access the free trial, and at the end of that period, they will charge your card unless you cancel it. But let's be honest, you're just going to be so overwhelmed by all the anime, you're probably not going to cancel, and you're just gonna go with it. And I'm not saying the over 9,000 line. Oh shit, I just did.
Or you could just be like me and just use it for like watching Gangsta and Blood Blockade Battlefront.
Exactly.
Why would you watch Gangsta? No. Blood Blockade Battlefront? Yes.
Yeah.
I love
Anyway.
Gangsta. Shut up.
Yeah. Well, I love the part of Gangsta that actually ended. Oh wait, never mind.
Yeah.
That
wasn't the writer's
attention,
fault, though.
Yeah.
Was...
Gangsta
Just ran out of money.
Yeah.
So how about that Gangsta ending? What
ending? Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Anyways,
how about that Blood Blockade Battlefront ending?
Oh,
That they
I'm
finally got.
actually very behind on Blood Blockade. I'm gonna watch it with my girlfriend.
dude, what?
It's only 13 episodes.
Yeah, I know, but I fell out of it watching other stuff. So
yeah. And you could do that with your Funimation All Access Pass. Anyways, we're going to head on out. Before we go, does anybody want to plug anything? Noah, go.
This time I don't have anything to plug right now because with everything going on in my life, which is more than any of you should ever have to go through, heaven forbid, I do not have any projects going on at the moment right now.
Yeah.
Hopefully by the next Dub Talk that I am in, which will be Pandora actually, look
Yes.
forward to that. It's going to be awesome.
Right.
Hopefully I will have something more concrete going on in the world of the online productions.
All right. And we can follow you at Twitter at...
Oh, yes. However, if you would like to follow me for rantings about the Academy Awards failure to recognize quality animation, GIFs, and all other talk about the world of cartoons, you can follow me at Noah Clue on Twitter.
All right. Jamstar, you go ahead and what are your plans? What are you doing?
Well, I'm hoping to start up a podcast, hopefully soon, called Moonlight Madness. It's pretty much a podcast all about Sailor Moon, all the anime, the manga, and merchandise going around. I'm hoping to get a couple of these knuckleheads on it, but they don't want to. So,
All right. So where can people hook up with you at? Where could they see what you're doing?
on Grindr? No.
No.
I'm sorry, man.
Well,
I just met
you
you
can pretty
tonight, and
much-
I'm already like taking the piss on you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you are. You can pretty much find me on my personal YouTube channel, Jamstar1. You can find me on Twitter, Jamstar529. I do have a blog, but it's pretty much on pause at the moment.
And we can always hunt you down at the Twitch chat every Wednesday night.
Yes, well, I'm usually either bitching at you, Mega Man, who else?
Lilac.
Godswill,
Yep.
Megan.
And this is why I stay away from the chat.
All right. And Lack, where can we find out what you're doing? What are you up to?
Well, what I'm up to is I actually tonight just got cast as Jotaro Kujo in an upcoming Diamond is Unbreakable abridged series, which you should be able to find from Weeaboss. He said it's probably going to be ready in June, so I'll probably be recording for that soon. Also, what I am doing is I am in the process of recording for Warwick in a Gangsta bridge that I am in that I helped write with Leikachi, which you should be able to find her on Twitter at That Other Titan. And besides that, the usual stuff, Team Brotherhood, which does Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood Abridged. Yeah, and if you need to find me on Twitter, you can find me at Lack the Watcher, LAC the Watcher. And also Facebook. I have a Facebook page, Liam AC, where I keep everybody up to date on my strive to become a professional voice actor and, writer and director and all that sort of stuff. So there you go.
Very cool. And of course, you can always find me at Twitter. I don't have any blogs or videos or anything. I just, it's at Spaceman Hardy. I just post a lot of goat pictures, and I fangirl over Final Fantasy VII all the time.
Yeah, you do.
And I rant over Aniplex, and sometimes I drink too much, and things get crazy. And currently,
you piss off cat girls.
And I piss off cat girls, yes. And
Actually, Hardy, I'm sorry, you're reminding me. I have one thing to plug, if possible.
Sure.
Everyone, go out and buy Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood right now before the license ends at the end of the month.
That is right.
I got both of them, so I'm good. So,
yes.
The movies, the OVA series, all of it. Grab that while you can.
I might next payday or...
Yeah, because once it is gone, it is gone.
Yeah. Hey, Discotech, if you guys, if you aren't doing anything,
No, Aniplex won't let them have it.
Damn it. Well.
Yeah, Aniplex, once they let something go out of print, if they don't feel like bringing it back, it ain't coming back.
Yeah.
That's the problem is, it will be back. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood will be back for 10 times the amount.
$10 an episode.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, damn.
So,
Yep.
One day
go
they'll
to
lose
Amazon.
their power. One day they'll lose their power, and Gurren Lagann will go back to Funimation or something. So,
it was Bandai before.
Well, Bandai's gone, so it's either going to be Funimation or Discotech at this point.
You probably should not have mentioned Bandai, because I know somebody that really loves Nichijou. And if he hears Bandai, he will go off like a mofo.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, Nichijou is legendary as the greatest series that never made any money in Japan. So I don't know if it would have been any more successful if it actually been licensed over here. No, not so much. No, Nichijou actually had a lot more money put into it and made a whole lot less.
Yeah.
Anyways, before we get off track, it's time to say goodbye. On behalf of Noah Clue, Jamstar, and Lack, I'm Spaceman Hardy, and tune in next time. Keep it manly.
Aloha.
Otaku, my friends.
それで